Okay guys, we're going to go through a few beard maintenance tips today to help you get through lockdown. I'm going to start off with some beard oil. As you can see, I've just got out of the shower and I've not done anything with my beard this morning, so it's all over the place. Beard oil for a start, work it into the hands first, get it warmed up, and you're working it onto the skin underneath the beard because it does get dry under there. And then it will come all the way through. It smells great as well. I'm using the one that we do at Lord's ourselves, which is lime, basil, cardamom, coriander and bergamot. Almost everything you need for a good curry. Next of all, before you do any cutting or anything, you're going to want to straighten the beard out, get them hairs underneath all lining up so you can get a really even cut. As you can see as well today, I'm wearing a white t-shirt, which I never do, so you can see what I'm doing as best as you can. To start with the hair drying, you're working your brush and you dry it one way through of it, then the opposite way. What that will do is stretch the hair out and get it as loose as possible so you get the most even cut. And brush it out how you want it to sit. You may need to do the blow drying more than once. So I always like to just drag all the hairs from underneath because when it sits on your chest, the hairs underneath kind of get shoved up and makes the front look really thin. So I've got a very long beard. Most of you are going to have much shorter, neater beards, but it's the same theory all the way through. We're going to start with the sideburns. Doing this is going to make it look a lot neater straight away. A few of you have told me that you're going to be doing it with kitchen scissors, so I'm going to try and do what I can with normal scissors first, and then I'm going to go through for those of you that have got clippers. So starting off with scissor work, you're going to brush the sideburns and everything you've got through that area only to about just below where your cheekbone is forward. And then run the blade flat against your skin and just come up, trying not to cut into the hairline. Brush that away. And then you brush back against the ear. Ideally, you want to be doing, if you're going to be doing it with scissors or clippers, it'd be nice if you could get your partner or someone that you're in lockdown with to help you out. And then we're going to do the opposite side. You will find as well that one side is always easier to do than the other, and it just purely depends on whether you're left or right-handed and what your dexterity is like. The other thing I didn't say is I am using a lot of mirrors at the minute. I've got a big one in front of me, two on either side, and one little one down the front for more detailed work. Okay, so we've reduced that a little bit, but now what we want to do is get our comb in flat against the skin, and then you pull the bottom area out. Essentially what you're trying to do is create a triangle shape, because if you cut it dead flat, what you'd end up with is sort of like the surge tanking with a little bit down the middle and all this side's cut off completely. You don't want that. So pull the comb out at the bottom and just do this a couple of times, because you're not going to catch every hair every time, and just really slow use your comb as a guide. Try not to cut your ear, which is easier said than done. And as you can see, it's starting to get a little better. I'm just going to nip that bit off. Okay, and then the opposite side, same again. Comb it down first, come in and lift that bottom area out, and then comb down. Try not to cut your own hair as well, because we might do a video on that next week. The other thing I didn't say is take your time with this. You can always cut more off. You know, once you've cut it off completely, you're not going to be able to stick it back on to correct your mistakes. If you have to do it 2 or 3 times, then do it 2 or 3 times. Don't cut it all off in one go. So, as you can see, we're meeting that area up, which has reduced the actual width of it, which is what most people are going to be suffering with at this point. Now, if you want to take length off and create shape, it's all about the bottom end. The underneath of your beard should be slightly shorter than the very front of it. This area on the chin should be the longest portion of any beard. So again, I'm going to go through the scissor work first, and I'm going to completely tidy it up later with clippers. So you draw it down as much as you can. Swap hands, and try and use your scissors, your comb as a guide, and you're going to run your scissors along the bottom. As you can see already, we're starting to get a much straighter line. Again, you're going to need to do this 2 or 3 times, because beard hair is completely different to head hair. It's much curlier for most people. I have seen some of you do have straighter hair, but if you've got anything like mine, it's, you know, face pubes. Don't tell my mama said that. She wouldn't like it. Sorry guys, I'm just turning to the mirror so I can see what I'm doing properly. So, much straighter across the bottom. Just a little adjustment, and as you can see, every time you comb it, you'll find more and more just little bits poke out. You can keep adjusting. Then, if you want to add so I'm going for a very basic square shape. If you want to add a little bit more rounded edge, drag it all out to one side and just go straight up. So you take that corner off. But when you bring it back down, you start to see a much more rounded shape. See this slight curve now. So, get this little blast off. And as you can see already, we've got a much neater shape than when we very first started. As I said, I'm going to go through the same thing with clippers now. Clippers is much quicker, much easier, but with that comes the possibility of more mistakes. So, comb in, pull out, and I find on one side I need to come down on the hair, just because it's the way I feel comfortable. If your hand doesn't feel comfortable in what you're doing, it's wrong. So change what you're doing, find where your hands feels comfortable, and then tackle it. And then from this side, I always find it's better if I come up. Again, reducing that width, going to make it feel and look a lot better. So using your comb, pull it down and run that across there. I just cut my t-shirt. The only white t-shirt I own, and I've cut a big line in it. It's like the 80s again. I wear some stone-washed boot-cut jeans with this. Again, straighter bottom edge. Pull it out, and you're just following what I did with the scissors. Also, what I didn't say with these scissors is when you've got your line in and you look up, you can just tap them underneath hairs, which will give you a much stronger finish overall of the beard. So, blast that off. Cutting my t-shirt. Much better shape, right? Cool. Tash. Now, I don't want to do this, but I am going to cut mine short today, because I know a lot of you are going to be struggling with eating because the hair's going to grow over your lip. But before we do that, there are some of us, like myself, that like a fuller, longer tash. First of all, blow dry it into shape. And I find if I pinch it and then blow dry the bottom and top of it, and then use the dryer, I can get that curl and straight edge that I want. Same on the other side. Pinch, twist, and use your dryer. And you've got a curly finish. But some of you with a longer tash will have just grown it all out. I prefer just to nip the very center out there. Again, you can do this with scissors or clippers. I do that because I like to eat without wearing most of my food. So what you're going to do now is comb it out of the way. And again, I'm going to pinch the hair so I can hold on to it. And I'm just going to use my scissors along the lip line and come into the center of the tash. Same again. And it doesn't look like much, but that little bit there for me, it just helps me so much when I'm trying to eat porridge in public. It's not a good look, no. Right, I don't want to do this. What I would say for most of you, you need a pair of clippers for this. If you're going to cut it neat and short. If not, you're shaving it off and it's going to look full armish. You can just comb down and take the edge off. You can't see that, can you? So I'm pushing the comb against the skin on my lip, but I'm only taking off the minimum amount. And already it's much shorter. At that point, you would come with big or little. These are perfect because you can use them more as pencil. You come in and just run the clippers along your lip line. You can, if you can see, when I say along the lip line, I'm using it against my lip, but I'm not pushing right on the lip because again, that would take the tash too short. And it's about just being like really fiddly bits with that point at that point. Them very, very fine details. But as you see, it's opened up the mouth, made it much more visible. You can see your lip. You'll be able to kiss your girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't like it. It's in my mouth. If you want to go much shorter, then 1.5. That little arm on your clippers dictates how much you can take off. When it's fully down, that's opened up, so it's 1.5. But you're going to come down on the tash from the tip of the nose and just stroke down, and that will take off a lot. Now, that's pretty short now. But at that point, you can then again come in and really line out your tash. So it's much neater. I've left a little corner on, but you don't have to. You can just, again, with the clippers, go straight down on that and take that completely off. Be wary though that you don't come down into the beard. Your tash line stops around the corner of your mouth. So at that point, we're going to do a little bit of shaving. I've got a cup of hot water here. First of all, I'm going to use one of my girlfriend's leg razors. Don't tell her. But it's the closest thing we've got here to a Mach 3 or something that most of you will have at home. I'm also going to use a little bit of beard oil because if you're going to be shaving and trying to find that line, if you put foam on, it's going to be harder to see. Okay, so first of all, pull your face round and stretch as much as you can. Now you can come into the beard line and you will feel when you've hit the actual beard. So it will get denser and denser. Or should I say, you will feel a bit more resistance from the drag of the blade. But stretching the skin draws the hairs out of the skin that little bit more, so you get a much smoother, tighter finish. It's one of the things that a lot of guys forget when shaving at home. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. As we were saying before, when trimming, one side's going to be more difficult than the other, and it just purely depends on whether you're left or right-handed or your dexterity in your hands. What I may not have made clear then is I make the line first. And then I go across the grain to get the bulk of it off. Okay. Now, this is what I use at the shop. If you're brave enough and you've got a straight razor, it will make a massive difference. So we're just going to come in again, and we're going to just use that single blade to really sharpen up the line. And you may have seen that I was just blowing my cheek out then, which is called belming. Which will stretch the skin out so your hair comes out of the skin and you get that little bit closer. And then just gonna come down on the top. You can do this with a Mach 3, and as before with the line, just feel for that bit of resistance. That's the cutting done. Conditioner, or to condition your beard, we use this, the Roozle Beard Foam. It's great. If you don't have that, buy some online or get some of your just basic hair conditioner. It's still hair. But what I would suggest, say, if you're gonna do that, is do it the night before. It will nourish your beard. Well, put it on, when you get out of the shower and your beard's a little bit damp, and just let it dry in. The next morning when you get in the shower in the morning, it'll come out, but it will have conditioned your beard overnight. This is a leave-in conditioner. And as with the beard oil, just really work it through. You can get it on the skin. Don't forget the tash. The skin does get dry under there, and that's one of the biggest problems. Just work it through, and then back to the dryer. And as before, I'm going to stretch it out. And at this point, you'll see along the baseline, whether your beard is down here or up here, you'll see them little hairs, and it's just tiny adjustments after this. Cool. I hope you're getting all right, guys. And remember, wash your hands. It's probably one of the best things you can do. See you later, guys.